Dear friends, welcome to the Mindful Maya podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to understanding the phenomenon of the mind and be free from its conditions. The series features various talk shows given by the mystic Maya around the world in what he calls the conversation from the silence to the silence.
Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Dear meditator, in this shloka, Tvam is you, and you as such. And the shloka, the literal translation would be, you are my mother and my father. You are my kin and my friend, my knowledge, my wealth, and you are my everything and everything to be. Everything that I exist with is you, and everything as I exist is for you. Now this seems like a offering, which indeed is an offering, but this is more than just offering. While it is offering the self to something, and that something is unknown, or to bring it to the comprehension of the mind that something can be universe, that something can be God, that something can be energy, and that something, its name changes over the ages. While humanity was highly religious, it was God. And while the humanity is not so religious or atheist, it can be the universe. Whatever there is and its extension, or that to which everything is ultimately connected, that Tvam. To that, these lines are dedicated, or these lines are the realization of whatever that is within me is ultimately a part of a bigger reality, even beyond what my mind can comprehend, or my mind could ever comprehend. Something that up to which we can know to whatever that we may never know. So this comes from the mysticism, because whatever we know is not mystery anymore. We know it. Or at least the mind tries to keep things in the boxes in order to understand it, to categorize it, and think that we have understood it. But the mind can only make use of something, but cannot understand it. Whatever we think that we understand in our life is basically that which we are trying to make use of. For example, Many thousands of years ago, we didn't understand electricity, the lightning. When we understood the lightning and understood the electricity, we made use of it. But it does not mean that we understand it. Of course, we can make use of it, and we can make every appliances we use, every means of transport we use, run by electricity. But still, it does not mean that we comprehend electricity. We only know how it works. So, the tremendous power that electricity, such a simple thing and such a necessity in our life at this point in time, we don't know what it is. We may know its science, how it works, and how we can make use of it. But if we go on asking what it is, and most importantly, why it is, and if we go on asking question after question, at one point we will reach to the point where we will never find the answer. Of course, the answer may go on refining over years, but we will never find the ultimate answer that will satisfy us and that will make us know everything about electricity. And not just electricity, everything else in our life, be it physical property, be it chemical property, be it energy, be it spirituality, be it physicality, anything. So, the experiencer comes to a point where it understands that there is no way that it can understand everything, and there is no way it actually knows what it understands is ultimately truth. And whatever truth there is makeshift truth, almost truth, which is functional, useful, but ultimately we don't know. The experiencer does not know. And in this situation, it can only surrender or accept or let go. All of these are same words. In this sense, they are all same words. So it will accept whatever that is in its surrounding by knowing and seeing this vastness, this grandness of the existence, and this spreading of the conscious existence from infinity to infinity, from silence to the silence. The experiencer will merely see only. By knowing that it can't know everything, it will just become silent. And in this point, it also realizes that whatever it is made up of, the experiencer, its body, its mind, its emotional cycles, its desires, attachments, misery, happiness, sadness, its light days and its dark days, everything the experiencer will realize is a part of this grand unknownness, which indeed connects everything, but also the experiencer will see that from the level of the mind, everything can be categorized and everything can be divided and kept into different boxes to understand them, to look at their patterns, to look at their phenomenon, and then make sense of the life around. So in this point, Twam, or you, to which the experiencer is referring as you are the mother, you are the father. Everything around that happens to the experiencer is you. Now again, this you in the first level, or as arriving to this experience of grand unknown, extension of the consciousness, or whatever you might want to call it, as the experiencer arrives to this experience, it sees that everything around is happening for this experiencer to experience this life as such, be it going on very, very blissful, very amazing, wonderful, or be it very, very sad and full of misery. And the experiencer will also see that both of these sides are ultimately present in the existence. So this existence holds all the positivity and all the negativity with it. And of course there are ways, and if we understand the phenomenon of how our mind works, there are ways we can tune our life in such a way that we find bliss and magic everywhere. Every moment in the life can be magic, or every moment in life can be misery. If the mind, or let's say if the experiencer is mindful, the life may become magic. If the experiencer is not mindful, the life may become misery. It's just a point of how we perceive life and how we project our perception towards life. And in this arrival to this understanding that everything is connected in such a way that I am given a chance, and this I is the universal I, which means every one of us has this I, and all of us experience this I in a same way, the I of the mind. So it is seen that I am experiencing this. I am here, and everyone else and everything else is there, outside of me, of this physical limitation that we have, and everyone else is there as a part of existence for me to experience. And this is the sense that is given, or that is achieved, as we go on meditating. But ultimately we come into a point where we realize that this you, Twam, is actually the experiencer itself. Because as long as there is a division between experiencer and the other, that other may be other people, anything else than the body of and the mind of the experiencer, as long as there is division, there is a possibility to come to the point where this experiencer can see that everything is connected and that the experiencer is there to watch, to witness. And when the sense of I also vanishes or evaporates or dissolves, at that point only the existence remains. And this is very interesting, because as one reaches to this point where the I dissolves or the experiencer dissolves, or you can also say that when experiencer and experience becomes one, then all that is seen is the sprouting of consciousness within what was experiencer before, and now is seen that the whole existence is silently, very calmly sprouting through this witness that is able to see, watch, accept, understand, or the witness is able to be. And in this point, the witness itself is the mother, the witness itself is the father, the witness itself is the relatives, friends, all the wealth, all the good things, all the bad things that happens in the life. The witness itself, it is. So this is where the phrase Tat Twam Asi, or thou art that, becomes realized. And indeed, you are that. Only until the presence of the mind and its phenomenon, and the phenomenon of how the mind catches different stories, until that point, we all seem we are different, and we have our own stories, and we all have our own miseries and desires and expectations and attachments. But from there, all these desires, expectation, attachments, misery, lust, love, hate, all the emotions are indeed the part of this Twam, which is again the part of you. And when all of these are accepted, and all of the differences are accepted, and all of the similarities are accepted, then you are in a point where you can experience the universe or multiverse or this expansion of consciousness as one. There is no separation. So this is the understanding of Tantra, that there is this highly, highly, highly intelligent existence, and this intelligence is doing everything. It is because of this intelligence that the things are, that the existence is. And because of this intelligence, all the emotions that we have is there. So again, this is bliss, to find out that all the miseries I have is there because the existence has it, and all the good things, all the happiness I have is there because of its presence in the existence. Whatever is there in the existence, I have. Whatever is not there in the existence, I don't know. And this is the way of bliss. This is the ultimate surrendering, the ultimate sacrifice, or this is pilgrimage to the self. And this all occurs gradually by simply watching. And watching without any biasness, watching without being judgmental. And the thing about being judgmental is we can naturally be judging others or situations or anything else that's not us. But consciously judging ourselves is a very tricky task. As the mind judges itself, it creates conflicts within itself. But this is also one way to find out all the hidden miseries and all the shadows that we have inside. And unless we find out all of these things inside us and accept them, there is no way to be more relaxed. And accept them as a part of this Twam, you, as a part of this offering. The existence, the universe, offers us all the spectrums of all the feelings and all the emotions, and we, as an experiencer, accept all these emotions, all this spectrum of feelings as it is. And this is the state of witness. Whatever is happening inside, without fighting with the mind, without making mind an enemy, we just watch, simply watch, and knowingly that whatever we see is not us. Then we see that the sadness is coming in, and we see that the misery is coming in, or we see that the happiness is coming in. We just watch. And this mere act of just watching prepares the mind gradually to be silent, and the act or the incident of meditation to take place, which will ultimately show that the you in all the slokas, in all the mantras, is the experiencer itself. And that is you.
Dear friends, we want to publish these life-changing conversations as a book, and for that, we need your help. Please leave your thoughts on our Facebook page, Maya Satsang, and also share this podcast with your friends. Every thought is valuable, and every share counts.